just to the west of Byron, but this is the warning, excuse me, this is the warning for Thayer County that continues until 6 o'clock tonight. These storms are also moving off to the northeast at between 30 and 40 miles per hour. This activity in Kansas now, I think we've got 2 separate tornado warnings here that are overlapping. So let's see what we've got as far as those warnings are concerned. One tornado warning for Republic County until 6:15, and then the other polygon would be a tornado warning for western portions of Republic County until 6 o'clock. And we've got one more tornado warning that we're going to check out. Now, this is really not, most of this is outside of the coverage area, but it does include portions of Jewell County. So this tornado warning is in effect until, run that by me again, Brandon, just as you put that up there, until 6:15. And again, all these storms, if I'm not mistaken, all of these storms are moving to the northeast at between 35 and 45 miles per hour. So let's take folks, in fact, what I would like you to do right now, Brandon, is go to that regional radar loop, the first scene that we've got in there, and show folks this is what we're looking at now. There we go. This gives you an idea of how much of the state is not being impacted by this severe weather, and that's certainly good news. But within this tornado watch box, and remember that tornado watch is in effect until 9 o'clock tonight, we have had several tornado warnings, several reports of tornadoes on the ground, and at least one that has done some damage to a small Lincoln community. You can see this activity continuing to try to move towards the east and northeast. Lincoln's been very quiet. Lancaster County's been very quiet. Saline County, you folks haven't seen anything too significant right now, but those storms are headed our way. Update from Brandon. Brandon?
Yes, I just wanted to update that Fillmore County, you can see that there kind of right in the middle of the screen, that last little polygon that pops off. Fillmore County has been canceled from the tornado warning.
Okay. And so that's really good news, and we don't mind bringing you good news either on a situation like tonight. So Fillmore County was in effect under a tornado warning until 6:15, so that's been canceled about 20 minutes early, and we'll take that every chance we get. Go back to that regional radar real quick, Brandon. I'm going to go through this at least a little bit here and see what we can look at. We'll zoom it in a little bit. We're seeing how close these storms now are getting to Lancaster, Seward, Saline County. As Brandon mentioned, that Fillmore County warning pops off the screen, meaning the update has been that, according to the National Weather Service folks, that storm now has dropped below severe limits. We're still watching tornado-producing thunderstorms right along the Nebraska-Kansas border and into north central and northeastern portions of Kansas, with this entire storm system, if you will, rotating off towards the east and northeast, with these individual cells moving rapidly to the northeast. No severe weather here, but you can see some thunderstorms passing very close to the Grand Island metro, some other heavier rains that continue across north, or just to the north of the Tri-Cities area. If I take a look at level 2 radar, you can see these tornado warnings that continue in the near that Nebraska-Kansas line, and then back into north-central portions of Kansas. This is the activity that we're keeping a very close eye on now. You see folks in Hebron as well as Deschler near the Byron area, right along that Nebraska-Kansas border, keeping a very close eye on those storms as they continue to track off towards the northeast. Brandon, updated information?
Yes, getting a report that storm that's northwest of Belleville, getting confirmation. Spotters are saying that is still on the ground. There's a tornado still on the ground northwest of Belleville, so we'll move the radar up here a little bit.
Yeah, that's got to be in Republic County.
Yes.
So this is what we're looking at here. So the Belleville area. Here's the Belleville area, and that information once again was?
It was a spotter saying that there's some spotters still in that storm northwest of Belleville, and they're confirming that there is a tornado still on the ground moving north. The report is that it's a wedge tornado that's on the ground there. I would say that's probably right closer to Republic than Belleville at this point, looking at the radar signature there on the screen.
All right, but we want, we're obviously going to take not only information from the radar, but also from the spotters on the ground, the boots on the ground, very, very important. And sometimes you can see a little bit of a lag. The precipitation can wrap around these storms, and especially if they're very large and very powerful storms. So again, the concern is that northwest of Belleville, Kansas, in this tornado-warned area, we continue to see a large and dangerous wedge tornado. Wedge tornado, what are we talking about? We're talking about a tornado that is wider than it is tall, and oftentimes these can be very, very dangerous, very, very powerful storms. So we want folks not only in this particular area, which is in the 1011 viewership, but also points to the north. So once again, you folks in Byron and Chester, even if if you've had a couple of rounds of severe weather move through your locations, we still have a very serious situation with this tornado on the ground off to your south. And with that movement to the north at between 30 and 40 miles an hour, we could once again see these storms moving into your particular communities in pretty short order. So if we widen out the view a little bit, Brandon, we'll show everybody how close these storms are getting to the Lincoln Metro. Again, no additional reports besides the earlier report from Roseland, no additional reports of injuries or damage at this point, so that is certainly good news. But the line of storms continues from just south of Interstate 80 all the way back into northern portions of Kansas, and everything is kind of moving towards the east and northeast. Any updates that you can share with us, Brandon?
Not at this time. The only thing that I'm seeing, again, was that storm we were just talking about there in Republic County. That's getting that confirmation of, again, that wedge tornado still on the ground near Republic, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour.
Moving northeast now at 35 miles per hour. So again, you can pretty much draw yourself a line. These storms are going to continue to track towards the northeast. Individual cells to the northeast. The whole line will probably continue to shift to the east with the upper level energy that is responsible for spawning these very strong supercell thunderstorms across portions of southern Nebraska and into northern Kansas. So certainly likely that we're going to see an additional tornado warning that's going to go past 6 o'clock or past the 6:15 time frame, right along that Nebraska-Kansas line for folks perhaps in Knuckles, perhaps in Thayer County, especially if this large wedge tornado near Republic, Kansas continues to work its way towards the northeast at about 35 miles an hour. I'm going to give us all one more chance. Rusty, anything that you have to add to our current situation?
I'm getting reports of the sirens are going off in Grand Island. I'm trying to figure out why.
Okay.
But I've been seeing reports of maybe some rotation, some stronger storms. Go ahead.
Basically, Rusty, a little bit more on that. I think there was a report of maybe some strong inflow winds from the storm going on there, but there was also a report here from the emergency manager that there was possibly a brief tornado that has since dissipated west of Grand Island. Again, that was just a report of perhaps a brief tornado just west of Grand Island, but has dissipated.
And about 10 minutes ago, when we had widened out the view, we saw a pretty heavy cell move right over just to the west of the Grand Island area, and so it is certainly possible that not only could we see strong winds at the surface, but perhaps there was even a brief touchdown near that Grand Island area, just to the west of Grand Island. And so while nothing was ever issued, that certainly would explain why some folks, especially emergency managers, would err on the side of caution and perhaps did sound the sirens in portions of Hall County. Brandon's bringing me some additional information here. We've got a new tornado warning for southern Thayer. This is going to be just north of that Belleville, Kansas wedge tornado report. We expected this would probably be the case, and now as we approach 6 o'clock, we've got a brand new tornado warning for southern Thayer County until 6:30. A confirmed tornado was located near Byron. So, Brandon, we're going to zoom in to that Byron, Nebraska area. At just a few minutes before 6, a confirmed tornado was located near Byron, about 9 miles northwest of Belleville, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. This is a damaging tornado. That, according to the National Weather Service office in Hastings. Again, this was that report earlier of that wedge tornado, the PDS, the particularly dangerous situation, which is not a term that gets thrown around lightly, even in Tornado Alley, even during this time of the year. So this is a very serious situation for anyone that's living in or near the community of Byron, anyone living in or near the community of Chester, anyone between Byron and Belleville or Byron and Republic, and then certainly towards areas between Byron and Deschler off to your north. This storm continues to move to the northeast at 35 miles an hour, and it continues to be a significant weather threat. So please, folks, use this opportunity right now to get to your places of safety. This continues to be a serious situation. If this storm holds together, if Brandon would widen out just a little bit, if this particular storm would hold together, we're going to look at some other areas downstream here that could be threatened at some point. That would include Hebron and some other locations as well. So this, again, is your heads up with the quick movement of these storms, at times the rapid intensification of these storms. This continues to be a serious situation, and we've taken up much of your time this afternoon. We're getting close to the start of our 6 o'clock newscast, so what we're going to do is take a moment now to, is this an additional, is there a new warning on that? I couldn't tell whether I saw something pop up here, and I wanted to make sure before we moved on. No, we're okay at this point.